Card magic or coin magic? Which is better? Some magicians prefer card magic, others prefer coin magic. It's the great debate among close-up magicians, and today I'm going to be giving you my opinions on it. First, we'll explore the pros and cons of coin magic, then the pros and cons of card magic, and at the end I'll tell you which one I personally think is best. Hello, my name is Josiah Gunther, and today we're exploring coin magic versus card magic. The great debate. First, the pros of coin magic. And there are many great things about coin magic. Firstly, all you need to do it is a coin. That makes it really easy to do coin magic anytime, anywhere. If you don't have a deck of cards on you, you can't really do card magic, but if you don't have a coin on you, somebody around you probably will have some spare change in them, and that makes it really easy to do coin magic. Coins are also really easy to carry around with you, which makes them a really good everyday carry, which can be really helpful for magic, especially close-up performers who perform impromptu a lot. Secondly, coin magic is done with, well, coins. That is pretty obvious, but it means that coin magic is done with money, and money is something we all recognize and intrinsically value, which means that we can be a lot more invested when we see coin magic. For instance, when a coin vanishes, we actually care as opposed to just thinking it's a random card trick, especially if it's your own coin. Then you really care that the coin is vanished and you really want it to reappear again. Thirdly, coin magic is just a lot more visual than card magic. Most coin magic is fairly visual and just looks really nice. And I personally really love visual magic. I think visual magic is some of the best magic out there, and I think it just looks really good and, well, looks very magical. And finally, there just isn't a lot of coin magic out there. Now that may sound like a con, and we'll talk about that in a moment, but it's actually a form of a pro because it means that it's a lot easier to create original, creative coin magic. With card magic, there's so much out there that there's just a lot harder to create new card magic, but with coin magic, there's just so little out there that there's so many new things you can do with coin magic. Some of the greatest coin magicians out there do lots of card magic and other types of magic, but they're known for their coin magic because it's a lot more original, and it's just a lot easier to be original with coin magic than it is with other branches of magic. And that's because there's just a lot less magic out there. However, that is a bit of a con, which is what we're talking about next. The cons of coin magic, and unfortunately there are some cons to coin magic. Firstly, as I was just talking about, there isn't a lot of coin magic out there, and while that can be a pro, it also is a con in that it's a lot harder to learn coin magic because there's just a lot less coin magic to learn. And that's mostly just because there's only so much you can do with coins. I mean, especially if you're only doing coin magic with one coin, there's not a lot you can do. If you have multiple coins, there's more things you can do, but at the end of the day, most of coin magic is just vanishes and reproductions, which, don't get me wrong, look great, love them, but there's not a lot you can do with it. So there ends up not being a lot of variety to coin magic performances. Secondly, coin magic is really difficult. It's really hard to learn, and a lot of coin magic moves are really knacky, really difficult. So oftentimes you'll have to just learn a new sleight every time you want to learn a new routine, and most of those sleights are very difficult, take lots of practice, especially to do them well and to do them cleanly, which it's really difficult. And then thirdly, it's really hard to do coin magic for more than like one or two people. Coin magic is very angle sensitive, and then it's also just plays a lot smaller than other types of magic, so it's really difficult to do it on a bigger scale, and most of it, especially the visual parts of coin magic, which I think are the best parts of coin magic, is just really hard to do well, and it's very extremely angle sensitive. So those are the pros and cons of coin magic. But now let's compare them to the pros and cons of card magic. First, the pros of card magic. And there are, as with coin magic, many great things about card magic. Firstly, there's just a lot more things you can do with card magic. There's 8 followed by 67 zeros. There's that many different orders to a deck of playing cards, and about half of those orders have a card trick associated with them. There's just a lot more you can do with cards. There's just a lot more to it, to a deck of cards, than there is to a coin. There's 52 different elements to a deck of cards, only one element to a coin. So that means both by way of sleights, there's just so many different ways you can move around cards in a deck, but also by way of plots, there's just so many other things you can do with a deck of cards. There's Triumph, there's Ambitious Card, there's Out of This World, just to name a few, Cards Across, etc., etc. Just so many different things. Secondly, card magic is just a lot easier to learn than coin magic. It's just a lot easier in general, and especially for beginners, there's just a lot of beginner card tricks out there. There's so many card tricks available for free on the internet, it's a lot easier to learn, and then there's just a lot of self-working, really easy card tricks that don't require a bunch of sleight of hand, don't require hours and hours of practice, something you could learn in 10 minutes and then just show off to your friends, kind of thing. And then for people who do want to learn more difficult stuff, there's lots of that out there too, because there's just so much card magic out there. And that's the third thing I want to highlight. There's just a ton of card magic out there. So many different things you can do with a deck of cards, and it's just a lot more developed than coin magic is. There's so many card tricks. However, not all the card tricks out there are good. There's a lot of bad card tricks out there, but it does mean if you don't like the card tricks you're currently doing, you can always learn a better one or change up your repertoire. There's always more card tricks to learn, and there's constantly more card tricks being developed. Also, there's cardistry too, which is freaking awesome. I love cardistry. Who doesn't love cardistry? Look, you can do things like this with a deck of cards. It's great. You cannot do this with a coin. There are coin flourishes you can do, such as rolling the coin across your knuckles, but you can't do anything on that level with coins. So there's that too. But now, let's examine the cons of card magic. The cons of card magic, and unfortunately there are some cons to card magic. As I just talked about a moment ago, card magic is extremely developed, and that does come with a couple cons to it. Firstly, it means it's a lot harder to create new card magic. Despite so many different things you can do with a deck of cards, a lot of them have already been done, and it means that pretty much any time you create a card trick or do something with a deck of cards, it's probably already been done before, which is definitely a con. However, there are still lots of new card tricks being created all the time. It also means that there is just a lot of bad card tricks out there. I think that's less of a problem with card magic in general and more of a problem with magicians, but there's just a lot of bad card tricks out there, and a lot of those bad card tricks are unfortunately still being performed by lots of people. Secondly, card magic is just a lot less visual in general than coin magic. There is visual card magic. If you think otherwise, you haven't seen Shinlim. He's amazing, go watch his videos. But in general, card magic is just a lot less visual than coin magic. And as I said earlier, I think visual magic is great, and I love visual magic. And thirdly, it's a lot harder to do card magic anytime, anywhere than it is to do coin magic. You can carry around a deck of cards everywhere. That is what I do, but that is a little weird. People do sometimes think it was kind of strange for carrying around a deck of cards wherever I go, but I think it's worth it. And most of the time, somebody around you is not going to be carrying around a deck of cards, but they might be carrying around coins. So that does make coin magic a lot easier to do anytime, anywhere. So now we've seen both the pros and cons of card magic and coin magic. So what's my opinion? What's my verdict? So what's my ultimate verdict? Which one, in my personal opinion, is better than the other? I would have to go with card magic. And that's mostly just because I'm a lot better at card magic than I am at coin magic. I haven't invested nearly enough time, effort, and money into coin magic to really get good at it, so I'm just a lot better at card magic, and that means I perform card magic a lot more, and I get a lot better reactions, and people seem to like my card magic a lot more than they like my coin magic. I additionally also just really love the feel of playing cards. I just love all the different things you can do with playing cards. I love cardistry. I love everything. I love pretty much everything to do with a deck of playing cards. However, I do still really like coin magic and am interested in learning more coin magic in the future, getting better at that. So perhaps my opinion will change in the future. But for now, card magic wins. So there you have it. That's the great debate between coin magic and card magic. My opinions and the pros and cons of both. Comment below which one you personally think is better, and if I forgot any arguments for either side, also put those down below. I probably do not know all the arguments for both sides. I'm still just a teenager, but anyway, I did my best to give good arguments for both sides. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please subscribe. If you didn't, still subscribe. You don't have to watch the videos. And till next time.